Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In this one, I just wanted to very candidly share, how I went from a typical 18, 17-year-old kid to only 4 or 5 years later, actually, 4 years exactly, running a business that does anywhere from $100,000 to $150,000 a month in profit, allowing me the ability to store away, tons of wealth for my future family, using completely the internet, YouTube, Facebook organic, Instagram organic, just putting out content, and making offers to people to help them grow their businesses. We've helped a lot of people since then, to my surprise, actually go further than me. Some of the people that we've worked and helped start their own consulting business. We've got clients that have gotten to $300,000 a month, like my client, Bastian Slot. We've got a client like Zach Colburn here. He's doing about $80,000 to $100,000 a month now. David Mormon worked with me when he was doing less than $10,000 a month. He does anywhere from $60,000 to $80,000 a month now. Doug and Haley Johnson, they're a client that worked with us less than $10,000 a month about 2 years ago. They now do 7 figures a year, over $1 million a year. We've also got clients that we've helped from zero, like raw zero, to even just about 6 figures a year, a reasonable income. We work with everybody, and it's because the same sort of lessons that I stumbled into by trying to start this myself have naturally just been passing down, and people have been succeeding with it wildly. So I just wanted to share with you what I've learned teaching these people completely for free. You don't have to pay us a dime, as well as sharing, my journey and how I went from kind of where I was, when I was 17, 18, just stumbling around, trying to figure out, what service I was going to sell, exactly who I was going to help, what I was going to charge for. I didn't know sales, didn't know marketing, didn't know delivery, didn't know the business basics. Literally didn't even have a legal business entity for the first year and a half of operating. Didn't even think about filing an LLC or anything. Literally just took the money right into my personal account as a 17, 18-year-old kid. Did a lot of things wrong in that way, and I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way. This coming year, I probably gonna pay anywhere from $300,000 to $400,000 in taxes, and it is what it is, But that said, I wanted to share exactly what helped me get started and sort of boil down some of the lessons that I find myself sharing with our clients that pay us, multiple 5 figures to sort of just speak directly with myself and help us grow the companies. I just had somebody join. We've got 2 offers, the consulting blueprint and the scaling blueprint. The consulting blueprint helps beginners get started, helps kind of instill in them the same lessons I learned the hard way by going through the trenches, about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And scaling blueprint is building your team, your systems, your operations, advertising, building out your sales floor, your coaching team, and really getting to that, 1.5 to 3 million a year profit mark. So we had somebody join that program today, and the reason why he joined, he was like, look, I literally have all the momentum in the world. I just want to know exactly what to do next to, really make the most out of this momentum that I've got. So anyway, to stop subtly plugging our programs, even though I know that it's the best thing I could do for my audience, I want this video to be valuable completely for free. So what I want to do is just tell my story of exactly, where I was. There's a few key lessons that I learned, about 2 years ago that allowed me to build this business. And it's just simple, basic things that everybody can do, to be completely honest. And whether, again, like I said, whether you pay us a dime or not, the reason why people join our programs is because they don't know what they don't know, right? And they just want accountability and proximity to myself and my team, other people that are on the same journey. But if you don't need that and you just want to do this yourself, that's fine too. So I'm going to share with you, I'm actually going to pull up, I've got some notes prepared here. I'm just going to kind of read off of my notes just to make sure that I don't ramble too much, even though a lot of you guys have said you like the videos where I just speak. So I'm just gonna read this off to you. Starts off with how to become a highly paid online consultant. This is the same material that changed our clients' lives forever, generating them over 7 million in total sales, creating total life and time freedom for them, and helping them do work that they truly believe in every day. And hopefully you guys don't mind me just reading a script for this video. I know it's a bit cheesy, but this is some prepped content, and this is the sort of stuff that I really do wish people would watch more of. I think people really like the very candid approach to videos, but look, I want to actually help you start a business in this video. After working with 500 plus individuals, I've narrowed the key pillars needed to a few simple things. A, you need an online platform. So whether it's a Facebook group, a YouTube channel, a lot of friends on Facebook, LinkedIn, you're active on LinkedIn, whatever it is, even if you don't have something like that, it's actually quite easy to set up. Some people think that it takes years, but really we've speed hacked it. We've helped our clients build massive audiences very quickly by just being in the right communities, posting the right things, sharing their story. Like one of my clients, Ali, and I'll show this little screenshot right here. Maybe Robert, if you could edit this in. He had a post that we custom wrote for him, and he got like it's been like 40,000 impressions now, and like over 1,000 direct messages on his LinkedIn account, all of which that could potentially be clients. So building a platform is actually quite easy. It's just about knowing how to position your story online. About 2 years ago, like I said, when I was just getting started in this model, I was actually a photographer, and I helped other photographers grow their business. And I just used Facebook groups. So I would literally just there was a bunch of Facebook groups. You can literally look them up today. There's like wedding photography Facebook groups. There's millions of them, it feels like. There's like ones with like hundreds of thousands of people in them. And I would just share like how well I'm doing with my business. And then that would naturally, I would get a bunch of friends on my Facebook account. And then I use my Facebook personal profile to launch a $300 course. And that day I did like $4,000 in sales. And that's when I realized holy cow, this is the model that I want to devote to. And this is what I actually need to figure out. I need to figure out how to make this click for myself and for other people. And that's what's led into what we do today. Where, to my surprise, people that I taught even back then on the model, they've gone so far, which is incredible. So this first thing you need is a solid platform. And it's much easier to build than people think. Next is a solid outcome-driven offer. So a lot of people think that you're selling information or you're selling just coaching. And that's not actually completely true. You need to really be selling outcomes. So where does somebody want to get? I know that people invest with us because they want certainty in growing their business, because they have an idea in mind of what they want to use that money for. So they want to make $20 or $40 or $60,000 a month or more, multiple hundreds of $1,000s a month. Because they want to invest in real estate, because they want to have a good lifestyle business, because they want to retire their parents, because they want to buy nice watches, because they want to, prove to their parents that they could do it. There's all kinds of reasons why somebody would want that. So the outcome is actually what matters. It's not just that we help people grow businesses. I like to believe that we help people grow businesses, and that's actually a means to an end for their life. And that's not just about more money in the bank, but it's actually about what you're going to do with that and what it means for you personally, which I think is really cool. And I think it's important that you have that outcome in mind. So for example, if you're a health coach, you're not just helping people with their health. If they're a mom, you're helping them be a better mom because they have more energy to be a better mom. If they're a business owner, you're helping them be a better leader and a business owner because, they have the more energy to do it. If they have, horrible gut issues, and it means that they haven't been able to eat, it means that they can finally once again enjoy their wife's or, their mother's cooking or something like that. Who knows? So that's the next thing you need. So first is a platform. Second is a solid outcome-driven offer. This is more details in a moment on this one. And then C is basic communication skills. This is sales, coaching, and people skills. And this is easy to learn with the right help. And I had to learn. I invested a lot of money to learn these skills. So let's dive into each. But before that, I want you to know who we help with our offers. A, total beginners that are ready for a different direction in life and ready to be in a great community. We've got about 200 people currently in our programs. No, actually 226 people that are active currently. I don't know if you can see that number. I don't know if it's backwards for you guys, but that's actually, we have all of our clients on Slack. If you were to join us, you would join that Slack channel, private access to myself, the team, all of our clients. And actually one of the requirements of joining is that if we force you to connect with other people. So we do not let you do lone wolf crap. You have to make friends and ask good questions and get involved, because I know that proximity is power. There's people in this group doing $60,000 a month with their coaching offers. So it's a really, really cool group. So first of all, what is a coach? What is a consultant? And what exactly is that business model? What do you do? First of all, it's not a fancy tie or someone with a degree. So I used to think that I'd hear that word consultant and it kind of implied this really fancy, somebody with an MBA almost. And, I learned really quickly that's just not the case. I live in this beautiful apartment. It's $4,000 a month. I have my watch collection is worth nearly 6 figures, and never once have I had to personally put on a tie. I haven't had to. I do because I want to maybe sometimes, but I've never had to. I've never had to prove my certification to anybody. I've never had to, nobody's ever asked me what makes you qualified for this? Never, because my offers are always outcome driven. Even when I sold the wedding photography course, it was all about, hey, I'll help you get your wedding photography business to $50,000 a year or more. If you do what I tell you to do, obviously there's no guarantees, because you don't want to guarantee income. That's not good on paper, and frankly, nobody can. It's purely information. It's purely coaching. You can't actually guarantee anything. But if I just said, look, if you do what I tell you to do and you don't get results with this program, I'll give you a full refund. And that's what we say to this day for all of our offers. If you literally do everything we tell you to do and you don't get any results, you haven't gotten anything, and you've done everything we told you to do, then we'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. And yet we've never had anybody take us up on it, because when they do what we tell them to do, they always get results. So that said, consulting is basically this, and again, I'll read off my notes. It's engaging in the solving of people's or businesses' problems by means of providing guidance or services. So an example is a health coach and a startup funding coach are both in the consulting business. Even my mom actually is starting a consulting business where she's working with other like parents to help them homeschool their kids, because I was actually homeschooled, and I think it gave me a huge advantage in life. And so, if you happen to actually want to work with her, let me know. I can connect you. My brother is starting a consulting business helping landscape businesses market themselves online, because he, in his first year of running a landscaping business, did like over 6 figures. And that's really, really cool for like an 18-year-old, right? Definitely, the entrepreneur bug definitely runs in our blood, which I think is pretty cool. And so he's actually helping other landscaping business owners with my help, market their services online. And to his credit, he's actually like really trying to do it on his own, because I think, it's definitely, you definitely don't want to credit your success to your brother, right? So, but he is starting that, which I think is really cool. And the beauty of the consulting model is that you get paid very highly to basically just walk someone up a step that you've already taken. So, if you have a good marriage, like somebody might be failing in their marriage, and it might be worth 20 grand for them to work with you for the year. You really never know. And I think as you hear that, you might think, what makes me worth that money? But I want to change your mindset and help you understand that they're not paying you, they're paying to solve their problem. And if they can solve their problem by proximity to you, then what is 20 grand? What is 20 grand for a lifelong, happy marriage? Like it really is a no-brainer if you can truly solve their problem. So if you feel like you don't have any given expertise, truly, I gotta say, all you gotta do is study. Like for myself, when I first got started, I didn't have like a lot of experience. And this to some people sounds like almost like scammy. They're like, oh, you gotta have experience, right? Like you can't just go in blind. And I'm not saying blind. I'm saying I knew a little bit more than my clients did, just enough to be dangerous. And that was more than enough. Like if you look, I actually interviewed my first client. I'll have you, Robert, if you could put up a picture right here of my client D, who was like my first client, purely in the consulting model where I was like working right with somebody. All I'd done at that point is like buy a couple courses, read a couple books on marketing and funnels and sales. And I just taught her like the theories, and I just showed her what I think would work. And I think she like 20x her investment since working with me like 2 years ago. And that's just because I just knew the basics. I just knew what other people were saying. And a lot of the time, you want to evolve from that. You don't want to stay there, but it's really easy to start by just having the right information from other people. Okay, so if you just have the right information for other people, you can just hand that information off to others and tell them to do it and tell them what sort of results they could potentially get. And that was good enough. She paid me $10,000 and she's 20 extra investment, which is amazing. So let's see, moving on my notes here. You just got to teach frameworks that are purely theory, and that's fine. You just don't want to stay there. Don't stay there for very long, but it's a great place to start. Moving forward. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes, trying to figure out like what's best to share. I guess I could just say this, like fast forward to today, like I have a couple of pictures on my screen here. You can see a couple cool photos of me, one of me like buying a Rolex, one of me with a award on the left there that is like an award that you get for making over $1 million online. That's my car right there. It's like a $80,000 car. It's like a cool sports car, which I really enjoy, and actually, probably I'm going to be selling at some point, but for now I like it. But fast forward to today, we're looking at like doing anywhere from 3 to 5 million next year in 2022. And more important than money, it's like giving me time to just become a better man and work on myself, because I truly believe that until you have money in the bank, like you don't actually have the margin in your life to work on yourself. Like I get to do things like, today I have all this free time. Like I've got 5 hours of just like free time. I'm spending it reading a book on my Kindle. I'm actually going through a book by an author named Ray Dalio called Principles for the Changing World Order. Principles for dealing with the changing world order. Because, if you follow what's happening in the world, I personally believe, and you may disagree with me, that our world, our culture, our economy is in for it. And I just want to know how to handle that, especially as a man. And I'm getting married in September of next year, and I just want to know how to prep for that and just kind of have some ideas that will help me. So yeah, moving forward on some of my notes here. So let's start from the top. Okay, establishing an online audience. Let me just make sure I made my last point as well as I possibly could. I literally have like all the time in the world. Like literally today, my sales rep for my company brought in like 20 grand, and I am just sitting here like trying to figure out what to do. Like that is literally today. And I hope that doesn't sound like entitled or like arrogant to some people, but I really hope you understand that once you have a good offer and you've got a good outcome that you're generating for people, and they truly see value in investing with you, and they desire in their heart of hearts to see the transformations that you're generating for your clients, like it just becomes like such an easy business model. And it's all about like truly helping people get to where they desire to be in their heart of hearts. That's it. And if you can build a system that does that, you can literally like sit on $1 million to $3 million a year business. Obviously I don't guarantee any results by investing into our programs. It's all on you, but we have done that for people, and personally I have done that. And I don't know, I just want to make sure that you understand, like, it is such a freeing thing to start your own business and do it the right way. This idea that like 99% of businesses fail is true, and honestly it's because 99% of business owners do it wrong. They're not willing to surround themselves with the right people. They're not willing to get guidance. I think it's like 5% of business owners have like a business coach and have somebody ahead of them. I've spent like 300 grand. I just threw 50 grand at a mastermind this past week, just so I can be in a room with like better people. Because if I'm not constantly being challenged in my beliefs and in my thinking and how I operate as a business owner, then I will not grow. So anyway, let's start from the top with establishing an audience online. I'm just gonna again read off of the notes here. Most people think you need to spend a lot of money or time to do good marketing. They think you need connections or to build fancy funnels or even know a ton of marketing jargon, and honestly, it's not true. Personally, I grew my business to $20,000 a month just prospecting in Facebook groups and online communities. This is actually where I found my first client, by the way, D, who I mentioned earlier. And I interviewed her on this YouTube channel, so you should go check that video out. You see that I'm completely legit. I'm not making any of this up. This is my actual story. She's a real person, and all my clients are real people. So I just joined communities, business owners, add some value, add some friends, and see who I could help. And to this day, we actually still use that model amongst a few other marketing methods, right? And what's cool is that if you mix this model of, you know, building a following using groups and getting personal online, sort of being able to like share your worldview and get open with how you think and who you are online, it creates like division in your marketing where, and actually it's funny, I think my editor already showed this screenshot, but this is actually the screenshot that I have as an example. Maybe Robert, you could flip this. But yeah, if you mix it with getting like personal online, you can see here 500,000 views on a post, over 1,500 followers, 15 sales calls booked, and he closed 3 deals with just a basic like LinkedIn post. And he did like $40,000 in his first week in our program, which is crazy. And it's just, you know, the power of having an audience and telling your story. Like, you know, my story of, you know, starting off as a wedding photographer and not having any idea what I was sitting on, stumbling into these lessons pretty much on accident. And then I decided to, like, for free, start teaching other people how to do this. And then it turned into what it is today. And like, that's the real story. And if you could just tell your story, it does so many things for your business so rapidly. It gets you more attention. People actually want to do business with you. You know, when you're joining these groups and you're building your audience, whether you're posting on YouTube or you got a podcast or whatever, it's not actually about just putting out valuable content, value. Like, I agree with that idea of adding value, and I think you should, but you should creatively mix it in with your personal journey and your story so that people feel a connection to you and desire to work with you specifically. So yeah, that brings me to like my next point, which is what I call the $300,000 a year marketing plan. And it's really pretty simple. And hopefully you've made it this far, because honestly, like, I've done a lot of talking and this is sort of unprepared. But you just want to spend 4 hours a day posting and adding value on online communities, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or what, even Reddit. We've literally got clients that have used Reddit. And use your personal profile, you know, your profile, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever, to build deeper relationships with clients. So like, you know, if you go to my Facebook profile, it's like literally just like, yo, I'm on a date with my fiance right now, or like, here's a thought that I have reading this book today. And then occasionally it's like, look at the result that this guy got in our program, or here's like specifically how to grow your business to 100,000 a month or $100,000 a year or whatever. And I'll do that stuff occasionally. But more than anything, it's like just my personality and just me being authentically myself online. And people desire proximity to that because, you know, naturally by being yourself, you polarize. It's like any social environment. It's like, think about like high school. Like, if you were just honest about who you were and you were just totally yourself, you would repel people that don't like you and you would attract people that do like you. And if you can mix that human psychology, that basic principle of human psychology with marketing, you create like this incredible powerhouse. So anyway, use your personal profile to build deeper relationships. Get good at sales. I know that's way easier said than done. That's a really big statement. but we have amazing sales training, and also, sales is just asking good questions and making sure that you can actually help somebody. And if you can actually help somebody, making them a bold offer. It is literally that simple. People overcomplicate it like mad, and it's why so many people get held back at that point. But make strong and bold offers. Don't be afraid to give refunds if it doesn't work out, especially for your first 20 clients. Just be like, look, honestly, I'm new and I just want to see if I can serve you. And even my first client, my first 10K client, that's what I told her. Look, if at any point you want your money back, just let me know, because honestly, I am more than willing to give you your money back if this doesn't work. And she was happy. And so I want you to understand, you don't have to be this fake authority that you actually aren't. You don't have to pretend to be something that you're not in order to make sales. So yeah, that's a simple but effective and to the point method. Maybe the last thing you want to do is make sure that you have call to actions on your profile. So have the link to book a call on your calendar on your Facebook profile, or, put it on your Facebook story or your Instagram story often. Hey, we're looking for clients, make sure people are aware that you have an offer that could honestly change their life if they message you, right? So next is for the 300K month marketing plan, or 300K year marketing plan, sorry. Give the process about 6 months of daily posts, helping others, and not just trying to quote, sell all the time. You wanna actually try to help and sell where it makes total sense. And you'll find that sales calls book in on autopilot because your reputation begins to do work for you. So if you look at, for example, our wins channel in our program, you see for example, Nicholas here, he said, I just had 2 back-to-back sales calls booked tomorrow. My business partner has been booking more calls as well. Things are looking good. You can see Henry's 2 calls booked for Monday, one with a huge brand, and he actually does e-commerce consulting, one with 15K a month brand. That's pretty cool. I'll just show some more examples. Grace closed a 10K client. That's cool. This is Elise. He posted, the tons of views on his LinkedIn. Let's see, a couple more calls, just booked 3 calls, which is cool. Had a pretty cool call from Facebook today. So you can just see that this is an actual method that we actually teach. Kaylee had a $7,000 week doing it as well. So yeah, it really is that simple. And I think a lot of people, like I said, overcomplicate it like crazy. They think they need a complex, fancy funnel. They think they need, a huge ad budget. They think they need a lot of things that they actually just genuinely don't need. And that's why we do what we do. A big bonus tip for, building your own audience online is you really want to start to own the traffic that you bring in. So don't just use online communities forever. Eventually you need to start your own. Start a YouTube channel, start a podcast, write a book and build an email list with that book. Build your platform, and don't just use other people's platforms forever. If there's one thing that every single $1 million a year business we've created has in common, it is an online platform of people that if they simply sent out a mass blast saying, hey, it's 30% off our offer today, they'd have a $50,000 day. That's what we have, right? We have a crazy platform. And it might not be big. We don't have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube right now, but it is dangerous because we've got such a deeply threaded relationship with our audience, and it's almost like a cult following, which I think is really cool. So the next pillar and the next concept, because we've covered so far, why to start a consulting business. We've covered how I started mine, covered other people's results. We've covered how to build an audience and how to get some of your first sales. Next pillar is offer. It's deciding what you're actually going to sell. So who are you going to help and how are you going to help them? And remember, you have to remember this. People don't buy services, they buy outcomes. They don't buy your deliverables. This is where a lot of people go wrong. They're I'm going to do these 6 deliverables for my clients. They don't buy that. They buy outcomes. So your job isn't to sell what you do, but it's to sell what you do does for the client in a perfect world, right? And not even a perfect world, but even reasonably. I can say, for example, I can say that the average client in our programs does, I think the number was and I can't confirm this, so don't take this as a guarantee. Like I said, I think it was they do 6,000 in sales their first 30 days, the average client. And so we've got an outcome right there. It's average client that joins us that does what we tell them to do does 6,000 their first 30 days, which I think is pretty cool. So your job isn't to sell what you do, but it's to sell what it can do for the prospect. That said, when building your offer, don't start with what you'll do. You start with where they desire to be. So for example, and I'll read off this example to you. Don't say, I have a 6-week online health coaching program where I diagnose people's bad habits and help them build a custom nutrition and diet plan. Don't say that. Or don't say, I work with people for a year to help them start a coffee shop. Don't say that. Both of those sound good, but instead think about your offer with an outcome lens. So this is like rewording what your offer is if you were that health coach. So the goal of our 6-week coaching program is to give you a sense of renewal in your energy and mental state so that you don't have to, that it's like energy that you haven't felt since you were a kid so you can be a better mom, dad, or business owner, whatever. Or the goal of my coffee shop launch program is to help you breach $250,000 a year in sales and establish your shop as the go-to spot for calls and increase foot traffic by 50% in the first 3 months. And so your goal with these first like 10 to 15 clients is just to get case studies. Like you really want to serve these people very, very well and get them results and be actively researching and solving their problems, 2 or 3 steps ahead of them. So just start with the outcome and then reverse engineer it. And I was just on a call today with one of our mastermind clients because they get unlimited access to my account. These people that are trying to get to like $1 million a year, right? And I built his offer for him. And this is an offer that we both confidently see could do like $800,000 to $1.5 million next year. And literally on the call, I just reverse engineered. I said, okay, so what's the outcome that your services are going to generate for your clients? And we decided this guy's actually, he helps businesses with their video marketing online. I said, all right, so what's the outcome? Because you help people with video marketing, but that's not an outcome. So we got to it, and a good outcome is like, we help businesses have confidence in their marketing and know that they will for fact be consistently growing their business with inbound leads and sales by using online content to build their audience and make more money. So it's like, they're really selling like confidence and like security in the future, not like video marketing, right? And so you want to think like, what's the second or third order consequence of your offers? And then once we had security and confidence in the future, it turned out that we shouldn't just coach them on having good videos. We should also show them how to nurture their audience and build a deeper relationship with them. We should show them how to have a great offer so that they can actually convert their audience into paying customers. So we built all these deliverables out, and now he's out there building the program and building the coaching process, and he's already got a handful of clients in the program, which is really cool. So yeah, that's offers. Start with the outcome in mind and then reverse engineer the deliverables. And this is where the real meat is. Like a great offer can be the difference between, $100,000 a year and $1 million a year in your business. Like if you can really nail your offer, that is everything. I've helped like over 1,000 people start and grow their businesses. There's more like I've helped form like 1,000 plus offers would be a great way of saying that. Because I really have, like with as many people as we've helped, I've learned that if you don't talk about what you do, but you talk about where you get clients, that's everything. And that's why we have these crazy refund policies. It's like literally like, I know I can help people do this. So if they just do what I'm telling them to do and then they don't get any results, yeah, that's on me. I'll happily give you a refund, right? So step 1, determine an outcome. Figure out what's in between now and that outcome. Step 2, determine like a reasonable timeline. So, and like an offer guarantee. So for example, it's like $5,000, and this is just me reading off my notes, $5,000 now, and within 3 months, we should achieve X. And if you're not seeing the value within 7 days, full refund and no questions asked. So then you've got like this, almost like this guarantee around your offer now. And that you can see how much more valuable that offer would be than like, a 997 and I'll teach you all these things, right? Like it's not the same. It's like for $5,000, I will get you here versus for $500, you will learn these things. You see the difference in that offer, right? So step 3 is group your clients and serve them at scale versus wasting time on one-on-one. That's the last thing. Like do not do one-on-one for very long. Do one-on-one for like maybe 8 to 15 clients just to get comfortable, but then immediately move people into a group. 2 or 3 times a week group calls is the best way to scale to, 500 to $1 million a year, 500,000 to $1 million a year. That is what every single one of our clients that have gotten to $1 million a year has done, and we've helped them do it. That's one of our specialties, something you move into a group setting so that you can serve your clients at scale, okay? And then step 4, never, ever, ever lose the frame. You're the expert and you have to act like it. Like if your client asks you a question and instead of saying, hey, I'll get back to you on that, or I don't know, and you just make some crap up and you don't actually help them, you're gonna lose the frame. Like if you give people advice from a place of uncertainty, they will see that. Instead of that, say, let me figure that out for you and get back to you. Or I'd recommend reading this book, or here's a YouTube channel on that subject. Like you don't have to be the source of all the answers. You just have to know how to get them the answer. And that's the thing that people don't understand about like consulting. You don't have to pretend to know everything. So if people like question your theories, for example, understand their concern, but stick to what you know while also redirecting them to other resources. And ultimately, you shouldn't try to bend to make a client happy. That only hurts them in the long run. So moving forward and moving along, there's a lot of things that, again, like I said, that we've learned teaching a lot of people how to start. And I just wanted to boil it all down for you in this video. I know it's been a long one, probably not even a very entertaining one, but I'm not really here to entertain. For the most part, I'm honestly just here to like show you what has worked and what has worked for our clients as well as for us. And so, you know, if you've left the video at this point, honestly, I don't blame you. Like, if you're still here, I encourage you to listen to the end, because I just wanted to make a very cohesive, very concise video. I didn't want to like waste my time building a fancy presentation. I just wanted to boil it down and give it straight to you. So please understand, and I'm going to read off my notes here again. Knowing and implementing these things is the difference between a life of financial freedom and a love for your work, and staying right where you are currently with literally no change. The clients that I've seen really commit, and they say, and just straight up, they just say, I'm ready, and they mean it in their heart of hearts, are the ones that build massive businesses. When we speak to people about our programs, I begin to notice a huge theme, and it's that people that make just a quick decision, they say, yep, I'm all in, or no, I don't want this, and they don't say, oh, maybe later, or I'm gonna think about it. You know, there's people that succeed because they know what they want, they've got clarity, and they decide that they're not going to settle for any less than what they feel called to. And so if you feel like so far in this video, I've like given you a lot of work to do, then honestly, straight up, you probably aren't cut out, or you need to raise your standards of your own behavior. And so moving on to the final pillar, you know, sales and communication skills. And this is the only pillar that I can't explain away. You simply just have to get into the trenches. Even my own team member, you know, when I brought him onto the team, he went 0 for 17 on his consult calls with potential clients for our programs. And, you know, a lot of those were great fits, but he just sabotaged the call because he didn't know what he was doing. And, you know, within 3 weeks, though, he was closing at the rate that, you know, I think any consulting business should be closing at, which is about 30%. 25 to 30% is a perfect place to be, because it shows that the people who genuinely aren't a good fit don't work with you. It shows that the people who are a good fit do. And it shows that the people who came on the call just to waste your time, you don't let them into your program. You say no to the people that aren't a good fit. So, you know, I myself, when I first got started, I went 0 for 30 on sales calls. I went 0 for 30. And so I barely had any, you know, leg room when I was getting started. And a lot of people think that this is like abnormal. You know, we've got clients in our programs, or clients that I've heard, or people that have seen around the internet that say they've gone 30, 40 sales calls and had nothing. And that's where I was at. I remember my first sales call, actually, I remember like I was terrified. It freaked me out. I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do with that opportunity. I wasn't sure, you know, I wasn't sure about any of it. It freaked me out, straight up. That's if I were to just boil it down, I was sweaty and awkward, and it freaked me out. And I literally remember sabotaging the entire call because I was so nervous. I didn't follow the script that I'd learned. You know, I butchered the call, and the client was super weirded out by it, and it didn't go well. And I honestly thought about quitting, and I felt like I was in over my head and didn't know if I could make it work. But I had literally no option. I had to figure this out, and I would encourage you, you have to too. If I could just tell you what I wish I would have heard at that point, like if you don't figure this out, if you aren't willing to go through the trenches and have these calls and have this awkward, you know, it's only, you know, if you think about it, a sales call is only an hour long, and, you know, we've got about 24 hours in a day. So it's really only like a day's worth of awkward for you to then know how to sell forever and have a skill that will provide for you and your family for the rest of your life. And so I read tons of great books, I got a ton of help, and I cornered myself, and I said, I have to figure this out. I invested into a bunch of programs, a bunch of sales programs specifically, and it wasn't long before I was capable of that $10,000 close that I mentioned earlier. It's just because I got the right help, you know, and I just decided I was gonna take the time and get the right help from the right people, and not think that I could just do it myself, because really I just didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. So I decided, you know what, if I just, you know, get on the phone with the right people and get the right coaching or get the right programs, that I could actually do that. So yeah, there you go. A lot to take in. I'm totally sure, you know, we've got a lot of proof of the results that we get. But this is just a total breakdown of exactly what got me from that 0 mark, where literally 2.5 years ago, my business, the best month I could produce was $15,000 to $20,000. And, you know, we had a single day today worth that much. And so I just want to encourage you, you know, if you're a beginner and you see the results that I'm getting, or the results that our clients get, and it intimidates you and it makes you feel like you could never do that. I used to think the exact same thing. I used to see people online that did, you know, $100,000 in a single month, or $200,000, and think there was no way I would ever get to that point. But I gotta tell you, you know, our culture has done this thing where it's taken making money or taken building a business and turned it into something that's supposed to be really, really, really hard. And this is why they send you through, you know, you get $80,000 in debt to go to college, or even $200,000 to go to Harvard. Harvard University, Harvard Business School, I think it's like $180,000 tuition. And yet business is honestly not that difficult. It's having a great offer that solves a core problem for a niche of people that have the money to spend on solving the problem. That's it. And if you can come up with a great system to solve that problem, first and foremost, and then secondly, a system to get people on the phone to talk to them about making the investment to solve the problem, then you can build a business really as big as you want to build it. And that's the model that we teach, and that's why I wanted to make this video today, is to share with you, how we got started and what you can do if you desire to do this for yourself. So if this video has been valuable to you, just let me know what you took away from it in the comments. I know it was super, probably just boring looking at my screen for like a half hour, maybe 40 minutes. But that said, this is some of the material that we help you implement inside of the Consulting Blueprint program. This is how we help people go from $0 or $10,000 a month or less, or just, they've sold 30 grand or less in their career selling information or coaching or consulting or even services. We help them scale to, $200,000 to $500,000 a year in their business. And so if you are interested in starting and growing your own highly profitable online business using the skills and knowledge that you already have, and you want direct help from people that have done it for hundreds of others with 7 million plus in earnings, and to implement some of the things that I've shared with you on this video today and actually get them to work for you so that you can start to have some more time freedom, some more security in your finances, some more certainty over the future. And you can actually, go all in into business and do it the right way with the right help with people who have an incredible reputation and get results consistently for their clients. I would encourage you to take a leap and book a strategy session using the link in the description directly with my company. And we'll just get on the phone with you. There's no obligation for you to make a commitment on the call, but we're just gonna ask you a bunch of questions, add a bunch of value, and see where you're at, and see if you are a good fit for our programs. And if you are, we'll make you an offer, and if you're not, we'll be very honest with you, and we won't force you to make a decision. We're just gonna show you exactly how we get the results for our clients, exactly what you get inside of our programs, and if you feel like it's a great fit, we'll move you forward. If not, we'll set up a follow-up date or something like that. So that said, really appreciate you spending some time with me. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, send it to some of your friends, and let me know what you thought in the comments. And we'll be speaking very soon.